I love the mood the Pandemic Pandemonium Sessions embodies on track listing namesake, and that's not a different judgment at all from Decadence Deepens Within. I think that number immediately marries well to the gothic tone, something of a more tragic nature, and following the path of previous numbers, and really the entire mood of this album, which has just been such a beautiful exploration at this point to consider in fullness with you. Coming off of like the Hour of Wrath, or Death Turns a Blind Eye, right? It's a very dramatic name, and it carries a sophistication and respect that I just greatly admire. And I'm sure on musical craftsmanship it will speak to the same credits, to be expected with Mortemia, who I love spotlighting alongside many other talents in the European metal and rock landscape. Many of you know I cannot get enough of that space at all, with good reason. And if you've not been introduced to Mortemia, and this is going to be a first step for you, as I like to do with any artist to give you an ease of access and footing, I will give you a simplified introduction. Mortemia is of Norwegian origin. It's gothic symphonic metal in aspiration, tailored of course by the musical visionaries he's regarded by many, and I don't disagree, Morten Veland. Incredibly talented musician if you've never witnessed his work before or scoring. And the essence of Mortemia as a project, right, as a solo work of sorts, where he manages the music side with some vocal intrusions in general from time to time. This has been true at least in the entirety of what we witnessed thus far with the Pandemic Pandemonium Sessions. But I love the framework to Mortemia projects since this album, in the collaborative respect, the Mortemia model, as I call it. The journey in European rock and metal exploration for me is one that's deeply vital, and having a network available for me to identify other artists and eventually consider their graces one day, God willing, I get the opportunity. I have an ever-building list, it seems. We make our way through each one slowly but surely here. And with Mortemia, I've given the same respect. And in some aspects, I've been able to look at those artists, again, on that initial encounterance with his work and their collaborative appearances, and then one day consider, okay, what are associated talents by name to them, and look deeper. I've been able to afford that courtesy to some artists who have appeared on the Pandemic Pandemonium Sessions and the currently unveiling COVID Aftermath Sessions in past experience, with some that I have sitting on the list with the expectancy of getting to them one day. And Liv Kristine, for now, will sit on that list, with hopefully one day looking deeper into her talents. And I understand she's pretty widely circulated as a name. She is, just on rough knowledge of getting an introduction, a Norwegian vocalist, so similar to Mortemia in that respect. And she's had a number of appearances, though she's credited, I believe, primarily to German gothic and folk metal group. I love that already. Some German names of similar genre space automatically come to mind in the folk territory, but probably gonna get the name wrong here. Midnattsol? Again, I welcome clarification on pronunciation down below if you so wish to opine. Anyway, this is our first introduction to Liv Kristine together. A similar respect I've given to other European talents in the past who've graced Mortemia's work. And for Liv Kristine, it will be no different. Our first introduction together, perhaps, right? Or perhaps you're knowledgeable on Liv Kristine's talents and you're coming to the perspective of somebody who's not yet, right? Maybe you're sitting in a similar position, being an initiate listener. Maybe you are of Mortemia as well. If this is the first introduction for you to his work or to the European metal and rock world in general, I cannot wait for you to have a first footing. I think it is certainly worth your time, and you're going to enjoy and appreciate the journey as I have greatly. But let's take a look at Liv Kristine together and consider her vocal talents and appearance in accordance with Mortemia's vision. So far, every artist that's graced this album I have, and any work from Mortemia, I've loved entertaining. Let's appreciate this work together. Hang on, let me get it ready apparently. Alright. This feels like an aggressive metal number. It's already got that foundation going in. Steady rhythm. Evenly paced. Good grounding. Number 10 so far in the death growls thus far. We're nearing the entirety of the Pandemic Pandemonium Sessions. The percussion emphasis here works for me quite well, and the shifting rhythm too. I already hear the Norway coming through. That's a beautiful voice. There's a nice frailty to it in the higher inflections that are deeply enchanting. Really whimsical. Different feel to the past numbers. Specialized. Gorgeous, though. This might have the rougher emphasis, but it kind of comes across as mimicking a ballad feel of sorts. So it sort of acts as like a pause work from the first three. It's gorgeous, though.
Welcome to before your eyes. With faith beneath thy
And it has those break sections to make such an invigorating mixture. Again, creating a unity amid seeming disassociation.
will come upon us with a tide. We all drown, we all subside.
In the darkest of dreams, in the dead of the night, I cling on to the memories and the faded years as the sun falls down behind the hills.
Oh, it's gorgeous. We haven't had a spoken word break yet from any of the artists. Nor what sounds to me like the Sirenia choir in appearance. We've had choir backgrounds for sure, but not to that depth. That sounds a lot like Sirenia's. I don't know for sure, but it's close. The density in the low range gives it that feeling. That section was incredibly tight, but I love the development of it on the vocals. Gorgeous. Those scales, that is beautiful. And the meshing. Okay, our refrain. We're near the end of a number, so this will be our closure. Let's see. I love how light that is. Okay, here's our wind down. I'm assuming we're following into a strum basis. Return choir appearance, I love that. Bring all the elements back into focus. That's a glowing section. Have we done a synth outro yet? Maybe. I forget. I'm doing a rough judgment in the back of my mind of 10 numbers. So, we might have not. That piece felt particularly fresh. In some respects, it does feel familiar, right? There's a key feeling when you experience Mortemia's work. Morten Veland is a very distinctive sound to his musical craftsmanship, whether it be on Mortemia or Sirenia. I don't say that as a diss. I absolutely love hearing it. Whenever it comes up, it's like, okay, you know, distinct, and immediately, that's Morten Veland. Told you, he's incredibly talented. What we're witnessing here is a number that does have key Mortemia attributions, certainly on feeling. And this is for me like a bit of a pause number in appearances, where we're coming off of three more energetic numbers. Not necessarily the most energetic on the album, but close. I mean, the last one kind of was, but this one does feel a bit more subdued on delivery. Good tonal mixture, though, right? It has sections that do mimic, again, that rock root and give it that metal presence. That it still feels like a fitting attribution, but it does carry on more of a ballad simulation. You have the choir echo effects. You have slower sections. And then you have Liv Kristine's voice, extremely light, but I love the accent and the variations on the key focus and how it transfers in the spoken word sections. Fresh. Like I said, this number has a real presence to it that does feel a bit different from some of the other pieces. Not the choir respect, though. That, what's the number coming after this? Devastation Bound. Oh, one of my favorites. So that one, that one had a choir appearance. So there is some consistency in how we're mapping here. I like that path, though. The choir presence, though, again, like I said, if you're familiar as to Sirenia, that sounded really similar. I don't know for sure if that was a Sirenian choir, but it would totally make sense based on the depth of their vocal talents. It sounds like it was just pulled from one of their albums. That's a good number, though. Incredibly even. Fun mixture, though, of sound. And different choices. I mean, I don't remember, again, like I said, a synth application with the Pandemonium sessions. Oh, no, there was. But, well, as a closure effect, it's tight. That's a good number, though. It establishes an apt mood that works so well to invoke that tragic feeling that would, again, fit the Gothic attribution. But it's an incredibly balanced number with some distinctive choices to, again, give it that metal flair. And as simplified as they are in presence, again, they're concentrated appearances in the song. It works so well on a mixture interplay. It's incredibly even. It's a beautifully rounded piece. I like it a lot. And I'm really curious to hear, I mean, as I said with Liv Kristine, that Norwegian accent is distinctive. I hear it. And I think it's going to be quite fun to explore at a greater depth some of her other credits based on that introduction and just witnessing that lightness. So, again, I'm probably going to mispronounce the name, but Midnattsol, I will note them on the list, as well as maybe other credits she's appeared. I did see, again, she's done a wealth of collaborations. I'll try and attribute some of those as well for maybe later consideration, but I cannot wait to humor her at a deeper level in terms of vocal delivery. That was quite beautifully balanced, and for Mortemia, it's a great application of a fit, as really any artist has at this point in the collaborative role. I would love to hear your thoughts down below on that piece. I think, again, it's a bit of a softer one on the album thus far, and there's been a couple to speak to that energy, but that's great on mood. And as a path towards, it's a good lead-in, too, to Devastation Bound, I think, because that one really kicks up on pacing and on direction. Well, yeah. I think it works. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Again, the mapping of this album is great in the track organization. Whatever your thoughts happen to be on the number, again, feel free to share, and your angle of approach. Long-time listener, fresh initiate encounter, feel free to disclose down below. I'd love to hear where you consider this number from. More to come, as I said in past occurrences twice now, this being the third of our re-entry into the Pandemonium sessions. Next up, with My Demons and I. And the appearance there on the collaboration I'm really looking forward to, judging by what's upcoming for this channel in terms of artist introduction developments. You'll see when we get there. But considering the context of this video of Liv Kristine, as always with the collaborative presence, is a beautiful first introduction to another fun Norwegian talent, just like Mortemia is. I cannot wait to take a deeper dive. I'm sure many of you are very curious to have that journey alongside me when we get to that point, but it was a fun first introduction to do that with Mortemia, again, following suit of the Mortemia model as I've established it, at least in reference's sake on this channel. It's a journey I love, just learning all these new names and exploring at a greater depth one day. And Liv Kristine certainly will get that same respect. With Decadence Deepens Within, it's a highly capable number, and it was beautiful to hear her come into a piece that is incredibly focused, but still creative. Not, again, in departure, I say focused, in departure of mood, perhaps, in the album's construction of where we're going on track listing, to some degree, but consistent on the definition and the overall experience of the Pandemonium sessions. It's extremely well conveyed, and Liv Kristine was an excellent fit to the number, in my opinion. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.